Steve Jordan, you will forever be remembered as one of the greatest Vikings of all time. Now, we are proud to officially welcome you into the Vikings Ring of Honor.
I looked up to my dad. He was one of my first heroes. And one of the things he told me was, to be prepared. And being prepared doesn't mean show up like, the day before the test. Hey, I studied pretty hard last night and I'm ready to take the test. That's not prepared. Prepared is a month before the test. But I tell you, the first time that I had to line up against then Matt Blair. Matt Blair was an all-pro outside linebacker. I was in a three-point stance. The next thing you know, I'm looking up at the sky. And Matt ran right through me like a revolving door. And I was like, wow, welcome to the NFL. There are certain things you can control and certain things you cannot control. You can't control the other person, like a Matt Blair. I couldn't control his level of talent. I could control mine. That same mentality applies during the season. Make sure that you do the things that you can control. You can control your workouts, your mental aspect and approach to the game, and your whole attitude. That's what that's all about. This business it can be a grind. It takes a toll on your body, it takes a toll on you mentally. And so that preparedness is not just game day or the day before game day or week of game day. It's what you do in that off season that really counts.
Cousins for the end zone. Is it caught? Yes, and what a catch by Adam Thielen and what a throw by Kirk Cousins.
We have far more plays in the game plan than we would ever call during a game. Times where Olabisi's going to get involved, Kyle Rudolph, C.J. Ham, the non-Thielens, the non-Digsies, the non-Dalvin Cooks. I'm aware of their role, aware of how quickly they can be the key centerpiece of a play or of a drive or of a game.
Boy, Thielen obviously in some pain.
E.Z. Johnson would be his replacement, number 81, if Adam Thielen could not go.
And we knew Olabisi had to come in. For me, at that moment, it's just clockwork. It's okay, here we go. And it has to be that way. If you're trying to scramble on the sidelines to figure out what your offense looks like at that point, you've already lost.
I've been preparing my whole life for this. Knowing every position on the field, I was ready. I was prepared. Once I saw him down, I knew there was a possibility I was going to have to go in and fill a big position, and I did just that.
Play action, pass left, caught, touchdown! It's B.C. Johnson. It's a touchdown for the rookie from Colorado State, the first of his career, and it's 14-13 Lions.
I had a pretty good idea that the ball was coming my way. They're a huge man team, and I knew it was going to be hard for them to defend me with a motion across and then coming back underneath the line. So from the start of the play, I was pretty positive it was coming my way and I was going to get my first dub.
Hey, congratulations on your first touch. We'll get you another one, though. Yeah.
The game had become a back-and-forth shootout.
Stafford looking left, throws to the end zone, and it is caught for a Detroit Lions touchdown. Marvin Jones Jr. again.
But the Vikings stayed locked in, unwilling to let their first divisional win slip away.
C.J. Ham found him. Touchdown! For C.J. Ham.
Over the middle, complete to Rudolph. Rudolph, touchdown! First touchdown of the season for the tight end. This one at 15 yards, and it makes it a two-score game.
This is how you build a championship team right here.
Well, we've seen it the last couple of weeks. Offensively, we are operating with a swagger right now, with a rhythm.
Hand off to Dalvin around the left side. Cuts at the 5. Bounces off a Lion at the 2. Looks for the goal line. Touchdown! Touchdown, Dalvin Cook.
What I told y'all from the jump. What I told y'all from the jump. What I told y'all from the jump, Pat. Statement right there. Statement.
You have to be able to keep moving forward, and I think that the Detroit game was a great example of being able to do that.
Kurt is balling. Kurt.
And I was so proud of our team and our offense for the way we played.
I think we just got to pound beef. We got to keep going. At the end here, we got to pound beef. Love it.
The Lions had hung around long enough, and with 3 minutes left, it was time to secure the victory.
We had had it ready for several weeks. The situation hadn't come up yet, and so it just stayed buried in the playbook, and we noticed that it was cover zero, and they were asking the defensive back to cover Stefon Diggs over the entire size of the field, which is a tough task for anybody, no matter how good you are. So, we needed to get a first down. We needed to run the clock out and finish it on that drive. And it was a great play call and a great moment. And it's nice to have that call on the call sheet, ready and waiting for a moment like that.
Minnesota, Redskins, here we come. Get him all right, Rico.
One game ball I'm going to give out right now to number 8. You don't need to give a speech. Like that! Hey, and the rest of the offense gets one too. Hey, we need to go get this next win now, folks. Okay? We need to clean up what we did wrong today, okay? And keep the good things that we did going, right? Ran the ball. We had 140 yards receiving with Diggs. We had 140 yards rushing with Cookie. Okay? That's a hell of a job, fellas. All right? All right, Kirk, now you can go.
Now it's speech. Hey, we got a short week. We got to be a pro this week, man. Get ready and get to 6-2 at the halfway point, man. Get to 6-2 and set ourselves up for that halfway point. Let's go. Vikes on 3. 1, 2, 3. Vikes! A lot of yelling the last few hours.
We do feel like Detroit is a good football team. When you can beat a good football team, it's special, let alone on the road. I felt an urgency to get to 6-2. 5-3, 4-4, now you're back in the middle of the pack and you're really just chasing everybody else. So the performance, who we beat, where we beat them, made for a special feeling. The fact that it was a divisional opponent just made it all the more important.
Kirk Cousins has had his fair share of non-believers, but he's found one in Atlanta, Georgia. He's a Hall of Famer who knows what it takes to win in Minnesota.
I did meet with Kirk Cousins, talked to him a couple times over the phone. He came here to my office, this office we're in right now, and we had a great visit.
We talked for, a good whole afternoon. I mean, it was probably 3 hours, and it was entertaining. Fran's got a lot of energy. He's very charismatic, and so he was fun to listen to. And I just asked questions.
The United States Gypsum Trophy, when I played in the Pro Bowl, is a pretty trophy, and I was there with Unitas, and who would have thought that I'd get the most valuable player trophy? That's Dick Butkus, who was the meanest, toughest linebacker that God ever created. This is Doug Atkins, who was 6'8", 6'9", 270-pound defensive end. That's not a pretty picture. I can't imagine what happened there. High school, we were the state champions in Georgia, and that's saying something because we got good football in the state of Georgia, a lot of teams. And we beat a perennial powerhouse, Valdosta, to win the state championship. And that's our team. We didn't have 60 people. We just had a small number.
And the questions were certainly about football, but even off the field, how he handled family and business and post-career, the things he did. And
first guy to do Saturday Night Live back right after we lost to the Raiders in the Super Bowl.
And when he looks back now at the age of 79, what he felt like he did well, what he wishes he had done differently. I tried to learn about the entire person, the entire life of Fran Tarkenton, and he was an open book. We've continued that conversation now over the last several months via text messages, and even just the last couple weeks, he's texted me, and he's got good nuggets of truth in there about quarterback play.
I kind of shared with him this. Everything I learned about quarterbacking came from other quarterbacks. Van Brocklin was my coach. He was a Hall of Fame quarterback. Sid Luckman, who was a Hall of Fame quarterback from the Chicago Bears. Y.A. Tittle, Hall of Fame quarterback. They were my mentors. Everybody needs a mentor. That's better than coaches. I don't want to demean coaches, but I want to learn from the people who done it at the highest level. And they were the ones that really taught me how to play quarterback.
You know, it's always good to talk to people who have been in the fight and understand what it's like. You got a lot of people who speak to you who've never played football, let alone at the level we're playing it. And they've got all the answers, and they think that, you know, they can help you get to where you need to go. And someone like Fran Tarkenton actually can, because he's lived it. He knows how tough it is. And so when I get a message from him on my phone, I make sure I read it and respond and take it seriously, because he does know what he's talking about.
Inside this beautiful stadium in downtown Minneapolis, we get set for this NFC matchup between the Washington Redskins at 1-6 and the Minnesota Vikings rolling right now at 5-2.
They have really come together and are playing some outstanding football. Kirk Cousins is the hottest quarterback in the NFL right now. This offense is going up and down the field, and for as much scrutiny as Kirk Cousins is under seemingly every week, and he throws it as well as anybody in the game.
Great opportunity, man, tonight to play together, to have fun together, man. Let's go get a win together. Let's go win on 3. 1, 2, 3. Win. Come on.
Only 4 days after a physical win in Detroit, the team returned home. Under the lights and decked out in purple.
You flip it pretty quickly. I mean, you come back in, you get on the film of the previous game, you know, see what you can carry over to the next game, see what you did well, see what you need to improve on, and then it's on to the next game.
Never had one this quick. It should be interesting, but it's fun, you know, that's just how football is. You adapt and go out there and play ball.
Let's go get number 6. Let's go get number 6.
Another physical, hard-fought game was in store. Costly turnovers on each side prevented either team from establishing momentum.
Balls out, Redskins look like they have it.
Keenan dropped it. It's a strip sack and Vikings ball.
But when the Vikings needed big plays, their marquee player came through once again.
He throws deep down the field, down the sideline. It is caught by Stephon Diggs, right around midfield. Flag is down. It's a first down.
That doesn't stupid. Here's a screen for Cook. Dalvin Cook. Still going.
Hello. Dalvin Cook went all the way across the field, picking up blockers along the way.
Dalvin is so good.
The handoff goes to Dalvin, walks up to the 5, to the 3, to the 2, to the end zone. Yes! Dalvin got in, touchdown!
With 7 seconds left in the first half, second effort for Dalvin Cook. And the Vikings have taken a 12-6 lead.
Wasn't perfect, but I think we got something going there. And then that again, we just felt like we really controlled the game. And even when momentum was slipping, I felt like it was really important that we get it back, and we did.
After a fourth field goal from kicker Dan Bailey, the Vikings held a 10-point lead with nearly 9 minutes remaining.
At its own 34, trying to salt this baby away. Dalvin Cook's the back. He's got it up the middle.
Well, I expect the Vikings here to keep this thing on the ground for as much as they can.
Right back to Dalvin on first down, and he has room to the right side into Washington territory across the 50.
We've run the ball more than most teams, and I think what we're seeing is the benefit of having a solid running game.
Here's a handoff to Madison. How about this kid? Alexander Madison, and he stays in bounds to keep the clock running. Washington out of timeouts.
It is a 28-yard game-sealing run by Alexander Madison.
That drive was very, very important, not only in that game, but for the tenor of our season, to be able to, put our foot in the ground when the momentum was falling against us and then redirect it the other way.
We're not in this one for style points. You're in it to get the W.
Some games are gonna be like this.
And that's exactly what they're going to do.
6-2, fellas. 6-2, baby. That's all that matters.
Great win! Great job. Great job. You know what I like most about this team? You're tough, okay? We took that ball with an 8-minute drive at the end of the game to put it away. But you're putting yourself in position to do a lot of good things, right? Good job, fellas. Nice win. Let's keep this ball rolling.
On the next episode of The Voyage.
The Minnesota Vikings are on a 4-game winning streak.
We've got to look ahead and keep it going. We can't, be looking back and patting ourselves in the back for those 4 weeks. We've got to turn it into 5, turn it into 6, and that's the challenge up ahead.